I'm Michael.
And I'm Will.
And this is Rosie.
And welcome to Kids Cooking for Kids.
In today's show, we're going to be making a delicious shepherd's pie.
And there you have it. Shepherd's pie.
We're also going to go shopping for red meat with Brian, and of course, we'll have more tips from the pro, as well as safety tips and more ideas for getting out and getting some exercise. Welcome to our show. It's all about kids, cooking, and having fun.
Help! And then you help them out with pie. And come over here.
You smell that? Guess you smell anything? I smell mine.
See, I don't smell anything. Mine smells. Hey, no double dipping. Wash, wash, wash. Many people ask us, why a kids cooking show? The reason we do the show is because we love to eat and we enjoy cooking a lot. We started helping Mom in the kitchen when we were about 5 years old. Like many kids, we helped her bake cookies. But we became more adventurous and branched out to other areas of cooking. But mostly, we were getting hungry. Let's check in with Brian, our resident professional. He's going to teach us how to choose high-quality foods.
When you come shopping for red meat, one of the first things you want to look for is the way this meat is displayed. It shows you that there's no meat that's wrapped up in bags or wrapped in cellophane like you might get in a big store, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ground beef wrapped in a bag or steaks wrapped in a bag. That means that all this meat here is cut fresh. Okay, that's the first thing you want to know. One of the other things you want to look for is the color of the meat. See how nice and bright and vibrant the colors are again. All right, except for the ones that are marinating. Those have marinades on them, which give the meat more flavor and helps tenderize it. Then another thing to know that's really important is what's called marbling. Marbling. If you look at this meat right here, you see all those white squigglies through there?
Yeah.
That's called marbling. That's actually the fat striations through the meat that when you cook it, they just melt into it and make your meat extremely tender and flavorful. So this is what's called prime meat. That's the highest grade of beef. Less than 10% of all the meat that gets graded by the USDA in our country gets that. Less than 10% of the whole country. So that's a very small portion. Now if you look over here, this is what's called choice meat. Choice meat's still also very, very good. But you see there's more of the red in there and less of the white. Yeah, see that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the difference in the marbling.
How do you tell if it's a good piece of beef if it's been marinated? How do you tell?
That's a very good question. It's a very good question. How do you tell if it's a good piece of meat? Well, again, that really becomes a trust factor. Really becomes a trust factor. And that's why when you work with local merchants like you do in a place like this, you know that Brian is the owner, you know that Brian's here, you know that Brian's not going to cover something up in a marinade and have you take it home and be awful. Because if he does, he's going to lose a customer, and he needs you. So that's a really good question. That's really a trust factor. When you cut a piece of meat fresh like this, you get that bright red color. You get that bright, and you can see from left all the way to right there, including the pork chops. You know, the pork chops are a lighter color, more like a pink, right? But you can still see the meat's all been freshly cut, has that nice bright color to it.
Farmers markets are great. They're a good place to find local foods, and you get to meet some really nice people too. You get to taste things too, and that's not something you can normally do at the grocery store. It's a really good idea to shop for your own foods. We'll be right back, and we'll finally get to some cooking. Welcome back.
Let's get cooking.
We're going to join our friend Brian and get some insider tips for the kitchen.
Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is fresh black pepper, okay? Do you guys use fresh black pepper?
Oh yeah.
On what?
Salads.
Salads?
Potatoes.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, why do you like it?
Because it just gives it a nice flavor.
Gives it a nice flavor,
Yeah.
okay? Well, fresh black pepper has a really nice aroma to it too, doesn't it?
Yes.
And like after you toss your salad, it has a good flavor to it, but do you like to put a little bit on the top of the salad to get that nice peppery flavor? Okay, so you want to know about how to use a pepper mill, okay? So we'll teach all the kids today how to use a pepper mill, and this one is a really nice wooden pepper mill. And all pepper mills will have a top like this, and you have whole black peppercorns, okay? And you want to take those and you can kind of make a little funnel out of your hands there, and you want to fill that up in the top until it comes all the way up there, right? And then just put your top back on it here and screw this down, and you can buy the peppercorns at the store and keep them in a bag like this or in whatever container you have. And then once you have it ready, there's an adjustment on the top, okay? You can make it really, really tight, and when you do your pepper, it's going to be really fine, okay? Or if you want it to be really coarse black pepper, you can do it like that, and you get really thick pieces of black pepper. This would be for like coating a steak, like some people like pepper steak. Have you heard of that before, pepper steak?
Yeah.
That's if someone just really likes the flavor of black pepper. Otherwise, you wouldn't want to do that because pepper's a little bitter, right? I mean, it's not like we're going to snack on pepper, right? So it actually is a little bit bitter. So the way I suggest it is you actually tighten it up all the way, and that's your finest pepper. And always use pepper carefully. Don't use a lot of it. Because what will happen is you'll make a really nice dish, and then you'll put too much pepper on it, and then what will happen?
Don't ruin it.
You'll ruin it. Always use pepper carefully and lightly. But fresh black pepper all the time. It's so much more flavorful than using the one that you'd buy at the store that's already, to put in a shaker.
Remember, if you need help with anything in the kitchen, don't just go out on a ledge and do it. Ask your mom or dad for help. So if you can't light the stove, you don't know how to, then just, ask them for help. They'll come and help, with whatever you need to do. So say if you have like a big pot and your brother's over here struggling with it, he says, "Help!" and then you help him out with the pot. When in doubt, wash, wash, wash. Okay, if you don't understand something in the recipe, that seems like it could be very extremely important, even if it's not that important, ask your mom or dad or aunt or uncle or grandma or grandpa, stepfather, for help. So if you don't understand why we have to add basil nuts to the Hyperflagenschneigen, then ask your mom or dad or stepfather or grandfather for help. When you're using the cooktop or the oven, make sure your parents are on hand because, sometimes you just don't know how to use it, or it's dangerous, it's fire, it can hurt you. And always use oven mitts when taking hot things out of the oven. Today we're going to be making a shepherd's pie. This is a very hearty dish. Great for winter or any day that is cold or gray. It is also very healthy. My brother tried it out on the family several years ago, and it was an instant hit. So today, the ingredients we'll be using is canola oil, beef broth, ground cloves, thyme, ground cinnamon, salt, tomato paste, onions, is that baking powder? Flour, sorry, let me do this, butter, Italian seasoning, carrots, and garlic. And, of course, 2 pounds, no, well, how much? 1.5 pounds. Oh, we were close. Of ground beef. We've greased a casserole dish with Pam. You can also use butter. 1 tablespoon of butter if you're going to use the butter for this. We don't use butter. And now we are going to preheat the oven with the rack and the middle section area to 375
degrees. I repeat, that is 375 degrees. 375 degrees. There you go.
That's the chips.
Oh.
Huh?
Never mind. So we've put in 4 tablespoons of butter, half a cup of milk, and we're about to add in a quarter of a cup of cream. So now we're adding a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and then we're gonna mash them up. In a large skillet, we're going to heat up 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil. Okay, put the oil in, I'll spread it in. There we go. Put the oil in the cup and spread it over. Now that the vegetable oil is heating up, we're gonna add the onions. Wait, we didn't measure. Don't stir it too much. I'm just spreading them around. So now we have added garlic after we've let them cook for a little bit. They're actually looking pretty good. So, you know, they're nice and brown, a little black, but, you know, we can deal with it. And now it's time to add the beef to the skillet. Yep. All right, cool. Time to throw in the beef. When you're using beef in a skillet like this, you always got to make sure that you don't want to get hit by any grease, because that's going to really hurt and burn you. So always have your parents nearby in case you get seriously injured. Because with enough grease that, like, you know, pops up in your face, sometimes don't worry, it hits you. Yeah, really get it, really heat down.
We'll be back later in the show to finish this dish. We'll be right back.
Sprinkle it.
Welcome back. Let's get cooking.
We are going to add more ingredients, like this Italian seasoning. And also add a little more salt. 1/4 of a teaspoon of thyme leaves. And we need a pinch of ground cloves. Now we're adding 1/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. So now we're gonna sprinkle flour onto the beef, and then we're gonna let it cook for about a minute. Sprinkle it. All the flour? Yep. Now that we've had the flour stirred in, we're going to add the beef broth. And we're gonna add the 1/2 cup of peas. They can be frozen or fresh. Now we're gonna add 1 cup of carrots. No, 3/4. 3/4 of a cup of carrots. Tomato paste. Come on. Here we go. We'll start mixing it around. And we should bring the broth to a boil. Broth to a boil, got it. So now that we have the broth boiling, we're going to turn it down to medium-low and let it simmer for 5 to 6 minutes until it's thickened. So now we're gonna take this greased casserole dish, and put our beef mixture into this dish. We have the heat turned off. We're gonna bring it over here, and Michael's gonna take a spatula and spoon it in. Careful, be a little careful. Don't spread it out now, just gonna get it all in there. Alright, now we're gonna take the mashed potatoes and layer it on top. Put them on top. Alright, William, if you could please bring them over to this right here. Put them on top. Hold on. You can take over both. Now we take the casserole dish and put it inside the oven, which is preheated to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, 375, and push it in. There we go. Close it up and place it in there for 30 minutes. So now it's been 30 minutes and 35 minutes roughly, because we had 30 minutes of regular baking time, and then we have to set it to broil on high for 4 minutes to let it brown around the edges. Yep. So now, open it up. And figure out. Ooh, that's nice. And there you have it. Shepherd's pie. Now we're gonna let it cool for 10 minutes. Mmm. Delicious. Really good.
Safety in the kitchen is very important.
Okay, today we're going to talk about safety around using the cutting board and using your utensils, okay? So when you're done with your cutting board, you don't want to just wipe it off and leave it there. There could be bacteria, there could be viruses, there could be anything that might be in the meat or fish you're using. What you want to do is you want to take it to the sink afterwards and put some bleach on it and scrub it, and the bleach kills antibacteria, okay? And then rinse it off with hot water and dry it. And then your knife, you want to do the same thing very carefully. You don't want to put your knife into the sink with soapy water with a bunch of other stuff in it. Why is that?
Because you can reach in and cut yourself.
You can reach in and cut yourself, exactly. So when you take the knife over there, be very, very careful. Clean it individually, okay? Clean it individually. And when you dry a knife, here's a really important thing to know. You don't want to dry the knife like this. Why is that?
Because you cut yourself again.
Right. You always hold the knife away from yourself and always go like this so you never can cut yourself, okay?
Yeah.
And then put it back and you're all clean and you're ready to start again.
Let's get out of the kitchen. Good nutrition and lots of exercise is very important. It's important to get out and get at least a half an hour of exercise every day.
Hi, I'm Michael. I'm Will, and we're here at the San Francisco Food Bank.
So today, this is our warehouse, and as you can see, it's a huge warehouse. It's 55,000 square feet. And what we do here is we collect food from all different sources: growers, shippers, the Department of Agriculture, individuals like you when you donate at the holidays for food drives, as well as the retail industry. And we bring that food into our warehouse, volunteers help us collect it, distribute it, and we take it out to the community, to people in need.
We want you to get involved and help stop hunger in your community. Find out if there is a food bank in your local area and volunteer to organize a food drive. Ask your parents and teachers to help, or contact us and we will help you get the information you need. There are nearly 13 million children in America who go hungry every day. They need our help. This is a problem kids can help solve. Please join us and let's make sure no child goes hungry. Let's see what's coming up next week on Kids Cooking for Kids.
Today we're going to be making a dish called fish in a pouch. This dish is inspired by the French preparation called en papillote.
Okay, today we're going to talk about fresh fish, okay? Beautiful fresh fish. As you can see here, The butcher's still putting out more fish as we're talking right now. All the fish here is cut from whole fish, okay? That's something that makes this store special. Today, we're going to give you a little tip on salad cleaning, okay? So this is a salad spinner. It's very, very simple.
Okay. And
So does shopping. Wait, what?
you really love to
Cook.
eat and cook.
Never lean against the stove after you're done cooking with it, because I keep stuttering.
It's on the side of the YMCA. And one little thing I want to mention about. Nice! I thought you said you
All right, stand by. Stand by, settle down. And all right. That's all right.
But over time, we became more adventurous and adventurous? What's adventurous?
We'll look that up. Be sure and visit our website for recipes from our show. There's information on how to contact us with questions. We've got web links to help you find information on how to help hungry children. The pepper. We have added garlic, 1 cup of carrots,